Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is February 8th, 2026, and Barcelona have officially abandoned the Super League. Also, Barcelona's summer transfer market priorities have been revealed. And finally, Vitor Roque could end up generating Barcelona lots of money come this summer transfer market, and I'm going to tell you how. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Bo, and I'm bringing you this short live stream because, of course, today was Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. So, like the rest of the country, I was watching the game, and then it got really, really late, and I said, oh, my God, I got to go to bed because tomorrow I work. So I don't have time to film videos, edit, and post. So instead, I'm doing a live because, well, it saves me time to do live because I don't have to edit. Anyways, let's dive right into the news because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have officially abandoned the Super League, something, of course, we already saw coming, something that was pretty much done up to this point, but it wasn't done in an official capacity. Now, if you don't know what the Super League is because you've been living under a rock, well, it was a breakaway competition that was announced back in 2021 where there were 12 founding clubs. They were the biggest clubs of the four biggest leagues, or three biggest leagues. I don't think there was anyone from the French league, but it was pretty much Real Madrid, Barcelona, Athletic Madrid from La Liga. We had Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan from the Serie A. And then we had, of course, the top six teams from the Premier League. And these 12 clubs broke away and they started their own league called the European Super League, which was supposed to be an alternative to the Champions League, where these 12 clubs would be in a group and 8 other clubs would get admitted every season. Those 8 clubs would change, making it 20. And then, of course, just like a normal league format, these 20 clubs would play against each other, once away, once at home. And then at the end of the season, they would be a Super League champion. Now, this was, again, supposed to be an alternative to the Champions League. It was supposed to be a way for clubs to kind of get more ownership over revenue, because now it wasn't UEFA that controlled the revenue. It was these clubs who controlled the revenue that they generated through their matches. And within 48 hours of the announcement of the Super League, 9 out of the 12 founding clubs pulled out because there was a lot of backlash. There was backlash from the fans. There was backlash from UEFA, who announced that they were gonna, ban clubs from the Champions League or hit them with fines. So 9 out of the 12 clubs left, leaving only Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus. Eventually, Juventus left, leaving only Real Madrid and Barcelona. And well, now Barcelona have officially left when they announced the following. Now, Barcelona released the following statement saying, FC Barcelona hereby announces that today it has formally notified the European Super League company and the clubs involved of the withdrawal from the European Super League project. So there you go, folks. It is official. Of course, this is something that we saw coming for a while. Laporta had been slowly distancing himself from Florentino Perez in the Super League. And then we saw him, bridge or fix relationship with Seferin, the president of UEFA. We saw him fix relationship with PSG. With Al-Khalifi, who's the president of the CEA of European Club Association, which are more in favor of the Super League. In fact, PSG never agreed to join the Super League because their president, Al-Khalifi, is the president of the ECA. And now, Barcelona have made it official. Now, of course, this was, again, something in the works. And as a result, Florentino Perez escalated his assault on Barcelona, making all those speeches attacking Barcelona in the Negrita case. His lawyers requested Barcelona's financial documents, which the court rejected, so on and so far. You know the story if you've been following the channel. And now it is official. Florentino Perez now is on his own, alone against the world because, well, nobody can stand that old decrepit man. Now, there was a lot of news that started circulating in social media saying, oh, Barcelona are going to have to pay 300 million euro to break the contract. A lot of Madridistas were saying, a lot of Madrid social media outlets saying that Barcelona, by breaking away, they were violating the contract and they had to pay 300 million euros. Well, rest easy. That is absolutely not true. In that contract that Barcelona signed, there was a clause that allowed it to leave the project if 70% of the founding clubs had already left, which that was exactly the case. So no, Barcelona will not have to pay any indemnification. These Madridistas are just salty and they're making shit up. Anyways, on to that next bit of news because Barcelona's summer transfer priorities have changed a little bit from the last time we talked about them. Now, as you know by now, Barcelona have 3 priorities for the summer transfer market: to sign a center forward, to sign a center back, and to sign a left winger. Now, when it comes to a left winger, it looks like Barcelona have made up their mind to sign Marcus Rashford. Of course, pending the negotiation with Manchester United, because even though Rashford has an option to buy worth around 30 million euros, Barcelona want to pay less. So that leaves, of course, the other two priorities, the center back and the center forward position. Now, which one is more pressing or more urgent than the other? Well, it's been revealed that it is the center forward position. Why? Because, of course, in the summer, it looks like Robert Lewandowski will be leaving us without a center forward, as opposed to the defense, where, yes, it would be nice to get a left-footed center back, and it is a priority, but it's not as much as a priority as a center forward. Why? Because, of course, we have Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia who are doing a wonderful job. We have Araujo, who's back, who could be a substitute to Cubarsí. And we have Gerard Martin, who could be a substitute, or is a substitute now, for Eric Garcia. So right now, we do have 4 center backs for that position. Again, Barcelona do want to sign a left-footed center back. But when it comes to the center forward position, once Lewandowski leaves, there's nobody. So you got 0 center forwards as opposed to 4 center backs. So the number one priority is the center forward, followed by the center back. And then, of course, the left wing. Again, it doesn't look like Barcelona are going to sign anyone in the summer, because it looks like it's going to be Rashford if Man U agree for a fee less than 30 million euros. Now, who is on the top of the list to replace Robert Lewandowski? Is someone we talked about, of course, is no other than Dusan Vlahovic, because he is a pure number 9, an actual number 9, not someone who can play in that position, but someone who is a specialist in that position. He will be leaving for free come the summer transfer market. So Barcelona believe this is a really good market opportunity, and they believe that even though Dusan Vlahovic has not been doing too great with Juventus as of late, they believe that Flick can turn the situation around, because as we've seen, Flick can convert anyone into a superstar, including people like Ferran Torres. So if there's anyone who can turn Vlahovic's career around, it's definitely Hansi Flick. Now, of course, my question to you is, do you think Vlahovic will be a good choice? I don't think it's a great choice, but I don't think it's a bad one either. I think under Flick, maybe he'd be able to turn his career around. After all, at Fiorentina, he was really great. Even at Juventus, when he first arrived, he was an incredible center forward who scored a lot of goals. So, hey, 25 years old, in his prime. If there's anyone who can turn his career around, I think it would be Flick. But of course, I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. Anyways, on to that next bit of news, because we do have great news in regards to one of our most promising players currently in the academy, and it's no other than Juan Fernandez, because the 19-year-old attacking midfielder or 18-year-old, I should say, attacking midfielder has agreed to extend his contract with Barcelona until 2028. Now, Juan Fernandez is someone that arrived in the academy back in 2020, so 6 years ago, and he arrived from Real Zaragoza's academy. He has been working his way up through the ranks of the academy. He's someone that can not only play as a number 10, but can also play on the flanks, so kind of like as a winger or even as an interior. And Juan Fernandez is someone that has been training with the team for quite some time. He's considered now the replacement of Dro, him and Tony Marquez. We'll see which one. And, of course, someone who's already even debuted with the first team, and he's now agreed to extend his contract with Barcelona for 2 more seasons. Now, Juan Fernandez has mostly been playing with Barça Athletic, where so far he has scored 4 goals and provided 4 assists in 20 matches. So definitely great news, because Juan Fernandez is a promising midfielder. We'll see how his growth and development continues, but just know that he will be linked with the club until 2028. Now, on to that next bit of news, because, of course, we did touch about the center forward position, and one player that is constantly linked with Barcelona is Julian Alvarez, someone that is Laporta's number 1 priority, but of course, it's just going to be impossible given how much money Atletico Madrid want for him. Well, the new update is that, of course, Julian Alvarez is not happy at Atletico Madrid, and it looks like it will be Chelsea who could be taking him come this summer transfer market. Now, Chelsea are really pushing for him. Arsenal are as well, but it looks like Chelsea could be the one to take him in the summer. They're willing to pay whatever Atletico Madrid ask for. And, of course, you might say, Mo, why is this relevant? Why do we care if Chelsea take Julian Alvarez to the Premier League? Well, guess who's playing in that position for Chelsea right now? João Pedro, one of my favorite players right now in the Premier League. So if Julian goes there, is João Pedro going to want to leave and look for minutes somewhere else? And if so, maybe Barcelona can try to work something out. I don't know. Now, of course, this is all speculation by me. The only real news here is that Chelsea are pushing to sign Julian Alvarez. As far as the whole João Pedro, this is just me speculating. Now, Julian Alvarez, man, what is it with this guy? He just cannot take the right decision. First, he renews with Man City when Haaland is there. He was clearly never going to be the starter over Haaland. Then he goes to Atletico Madrid. Not the good system for him. And now he might sign for Chelsea? Julian, who's advising you, bro? Because I'll do it. I'll do it for half the fee. Whatever they're charging you, I'll do it for half. But anyways, let's end today's video with the news that Barcelona could get a cash injection come the summer transfer market. And it could be in the shape of a former Barcelona player named Vitor Roque, who has become the most valued player currently in Brazil. Now, since arriving in Palmeiras, Vitor Roque has been able to turn his career around, scoring so far 20 goals since he arrived in Palmeiras. I think it's 20 goals. 21 goals. 21 goals since he arrived at Palmeiras. He has now become the most valuable player in Brazil. And he's attracting a lot of attention from European clubs, with his agent expecting that some of these European clubs will be willing to pay upwards of 50 million euros come this summer transfer market. Now, according to the CIES, which is the institute, the Research Institute of Football, they say that if Vitor Roque continue on this trajectory, they're forecasting that his value could go up to 85 million. Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because Barcelona own 20% of the rights of the player. So if he's sold for 50 million, that's 10 million for Barcelona. If he's sold for 85 million, that's, what is it, 17 million for Barcelona, something like that. I don't know. Do the math. I'm not a math person. But anyways, just know that Barcelona could make a decent amount of money come the summer transfer market if Vitor Roque makes his way back to Europe. Anyways, that is all for this video. I'm going live in a few more minutes, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, peace, Barça.